Hi Gensler, this is Dante Wilkins. I'm going to take this opportunity to give you a little bit more of an insight into the project that I selected for you and just sort of give you a little bit more of a background into my design process.
This project is entitled The Enabling Potential of Architecture. The approach I took with this design was to break down the process of how food is cultivated in an urban setting and highlight the activities that surround preparing and sharing food. By providing a series of pavilions on the site, the intent was to spread out these activities over the site and make the spaces more approachable. The concept was driven by my passion to connect a community together around food culture and provide them with the platform for change within their neighborhood.
This project means a lot to me because it actually gives me a chance to demonstrate my focus on an urban project that actually impacts a community of people from a very diverse background. Since this project is centralized in Pilsen, I wanted to focus on how urban agriculture can be a positive change for this particular neighborhood. What draws me to design is the fact that I have the chance to impact the lives of others, and I have a chance to really have a hand in creating the world that I live in. And architecture is the means through which I have the most ability to change my own environment, where I'm literally designing the spaces, the types of places that I myself would want to visit, but I'm designing it for another person, someone who can't necessarily connect the ideas that they have in their heads to paper, and I'm sort of acting as the conduit for those people. I spent every year of high school volunteering with my grandmother, who was an educator in the Tacoma Public School Districts. And we often would partner on these summer camps for mentally challenged and disabled children. And those summer camps were opportunities for us to come up with our own sort of design projects. And I never really had a strong, need to define what art was. So we always just did random activities. There were these long tables with just paper stretched out on them, and every night we would put out like pencils and pens and paper and scissors. But we always ended up working with our hands the next day when the kids got there. And I thought that was so interesting that we instead of manipulating these materials in very traditional manners, we always ended up coming up with these projects that were folding the paper and tearing the paper and figuring out different ways of connecting the pieces together. And it was much more eye-opening for me than I guess it was for them, because we were creating art that was extemporaneous, and it had its sort of free spirit to it, rather than it being very rigid where you had to color within the lines or you had to design with parameters. And I think that having that free spirit like kind of enlivened this life in me to sort of embrace design as it comes to you, not necessarily in a very prescriptive manner, not necessarily in a very directed and, I don't know, like a controlled environment. I think that was one of the very first sort of opportunities and experiences that I had to just freely design without any sort of borders. I think it's safe to say that we all know that design is a means of communication that we use to help others visualize new and engaging environments every day. But when it really comes down to it, design for me is an opportunity to dream out loud. It allows me to connect my free thoughts with creative and practical application. I'd like to thank everyone at Gensler for this great opportunity to participate in the Diversity Scholarship.